Hello, it's Delilah and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a good nesting, cleaning motivation video. Spoiler alert, baby has arrived. And so you may hear some cooing noises in the background of this voiceover. I wanted to put out this one last video from when I was pregnant before I put out the birth vlog. So the birth vlog is coming out very, very soon. Stay tuned for that. Make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss out on that. It's a crazy, crazy story and I'm so excited to share it. But for now, I wanted to put out one last video. It's kind of a hodgepodge mix match of a bunch of random places that I decluttered and organized and cleaned in my home before baby arrived. I had random spurts of energy towards the end of the pregnancy where I felt like I just had to get stuff done. I had to clean. So that's what this video is today. We are starting in the homeschool cabinet in our kitchen. This was the place I needed to organize the most. It was awful. This is kind of the place where the kids come to as well. So this is where they come to for their crafting supplies, when they want to color, when they want to do any kind of activity like that. And I had just really let it go. I didn't have a proper organization set up in there anyway, so it's kind of hard to keep organized in the first place. And so I basically just went through, tossed a ton of random drawn on papers and random stuff that was no longer of use to us. Most of the homeschool stuff and crafting supplies is in that one cupboard, but anything else is stored in this blue cupboard in our playroom. This is more so like my stuff, the stuff that is off limits to the kids. We've got like the printer and stuff like that in there. So this space wasn't quite as bad, and I did honestly have a pretty good organization system in there. So it just needed a little bit of a going through just so I could reassess what we have for the next school year. Underneath there are a couple drawers of like sensory stuff and random craft supplies that we have extras of. So I made sure to go through those as well. I actually since have gone through again and reorganized it some more, and I'm feeling a lot more prepared for the coming school year. Next up was this van basket. This is the basket that sits in our van, that holds random toys, that collects random treasures such as sticks and rocks and mismatched parts and random things, and it's really the junk bin of the van. So every once in a while I just need to go through it and toss a lot of stuff, reorganize a lot of stuff. And I had made a to-do list for Eloise, and I gave her the job of putting away the random things that were not going back into the van. So she got to help out with that too. And it takes a little bit of a load off me, and she loves doing it too. Next up was the linen closet. This is one of those areas that I feel like I organize all the time, but for some reason it just keeps getting so I don't know, disorganized, cluttered, full. I go through it on a pretty regular basis. And I'm going to try this time to be more on top of actually organizing it and folding things properly when putting things away. I actually ended up donating a lot of stuff from here again, and just taking everything out, refolding it all, reassessing. I find that I need to do this on a very regular basis in many areas of our home, just reassessing what we have, so that I'm familiar with what we all have, because if I don't even know what we all have, that's a sign to me that we have too much stuff. This felt so good to have done. This ledge. This ledge is like the junk drawer of our home. This is where stuff collects that needs to be brought downstairs, that needs to be put away. Random broken pieces, loose parts, things that are misplaced. And it just piles up and piles up and piles up. And so eventually, every once in a while, I have to go through and actually put things away. And while I was at it, I went ahead and put the donations into a box and stuck it into the van right away so that we would remember to take it away right away. That day, a very exciting package also arrived, so I went ahead and set that up. This is one of the only things that we bought for the baby. I mean, this is our 4th child, so we have pretty much everything that we could possibly need. This was a splurge. This is an early Christmas present for the baby. This is something I've wanted for a really long time, and I never bought because, quite honestly, it is very expensive. But because we really weren't buying anything else this time, I don't know, I just splurged. I did it finally. After 3 babies, I finally bought the rocker of my dreams. Next up is this bathroom tile. This was one of the biggest things on my to-do list, like cleaning wise, before this baby came. It's a labor of love. It really is. We knew when we renovated this bathroom that putting in white grout was a terrible idea, but we did it anyway. And like I said, it's a labor of love. 2 or 3 times a year, we gotta go through and really scrub this grout in order to maintain it. I've tried a number of different methods to clean this, but the only thing that I found actually worked was Branch Basics. Not only does it work incredibly well, but it is completely non-toxic. Honestly, I cannot say enough good things about Branch Basics. It's the only cleaning supply that I use now throughout my entire home, and you're gonna see that throughout this video. So what I did was I took some of the Oxygen Boost. I put a few scoops in a bowl. I added some of the Branch Basics concentrate, just like a squirt. And then I added enough water to make a paste. And I'm using this paste with a brush and just brushing, scrubbing it onto the tile. Then I let it sit for 20 minutes or more. When I come back to it, I'll spray it with the all-purpose spray to re-wet it, and then I'll just go in and I will scrub a little bit more to make sure I really got everything. Then I take a pail of hot water and a rag, and I just start wiping it all away. And as it dries, you can see in that clip, you can see the difference. This was a job that I was dreading, and it was a lot of work, a lot of scrubbing. It was hard on my body, but oh man, it felt so good to have it done. I don't think I have spoken to the camera at all in this video yet. Hello! I really truly expected this baby to be here by now, but by the grace of God, we are still here. This baby is still cooking, and that means I have absolutely no excuse but to deep clean my oven. It's been one of those things that I have been putting off for so long, and I don't want to do it. But it's bad. It is time, it needs to be done, so let's do it. Other than going through our homeschool stuff and figuring that out before the school year starts, this is the only other thing or place in our home that I feel like desperately needs to be tackled right now. Other than this, I'm going to go through and clean our home today as best I can, vacuum, clean, get it in a good state, and then hopefully just maintain that clean state of home until baby comes. So I'm hoping that in the next day or two I can really get our house in order, and then I'll feel so much more ready and prepared for this baby to come. I think this is the job that almost everyone hates the most. Deep cleaning the oven. It's been 2 years since this has happened in our home, and it was really starting to show. So I was gonna use baking soda and vinegar to clean the oven, but then I thought, if Branch Basics cleans my tile grout, I'm sure that it is more than capable of cleaning my oven as well. So I tried out Branch Basics for my oven too, and I was so very pleasantly surprised. So for the less dirty surfaces, I used a wet pot scrubber, which by the way is my absolute favorite tool for cleaning anything in the kitchen. And I used a little bit of the concentrate on that pot scrubber, and that took most of it off. For some of the harder areas, I use a little bit of the oxygen boost. This is really good because it's little granules, so it actually like scrubs really well. Not only that, but it's really good at like brightening surfaces. Other areas like underneath the stovetop here, I just use straight up oxygen boost right on the surface, and I sprayed it with the all-purpose spray, and then I went in with that pot scrubber and scrubbed, and this worked beautifully. Then I went in with a wet rag and just wiped everything away. Now granted, my oven is 26 years old, so there are areas of this oven that are never going to be spotless ever again. Using the Branch Basics concentrate as well as the oxygen boost was a very powerful and effective cleaner. And by the way, I know all I'm doing is talking about Branch Basics. I have a coupon code that you can use down in the description box, so I will leave that link below. This is not sponsored. This is how truly obsessed I am with Branch Basics. Now, as for the inside of the oven, I took the racks and I soaked them. I'll show you that in a second, but before I got those soaking, I wanted to get the inside of the oven soaking. So I went ahead and, well, first vacuumed it out to get the crumbs out. And then I mixed up that same mixture that I used for the tile grout of the oxygen boost with a little bit of water and a little bit of the concentrate. I scrubbed it all over every inch of the surface inside my oven, and then I just let it sit for 20 minutes. While that was sitting, I got some hot water going in the sink with some oxygen boost. This is actually the same mixture I used to soak our stained clothes, and it works like a charm. So I figured if it works for my clothes, it should work for my racks. I think I also used a little bit of the concentrate as well, and I just let that soak for a while. Came back, scrubbed it, worked beautifully. Now for the inside of my oven, I pretty much did the exact same thing that I did on the tile grout. I re-wet it with that all-purpose spray and then scrubbed and scrubbed and scrubbed, and it was really gross, but it really did the job. It was a long process. It took me a while, but it worked, and it worked well. Also, Zach figured out how to take the oven door off, which made this so much easier to scrub the inside of my oven, especially while pregnant. Now this drawer underneath, I'm pretty sure it's a warming drawer or something like that, but this is where I store my pans. This is where I've always stored my pans. My mom always stored her pans there. I don't know, that's my pan storage. It wasn't super dirty. I just gave it a quick wipe out. I actually took out a couple of the pans, donated them, and then put everything back in its place. And now that everything was finally scrubbed clean, it was just a matter of assembling, and oh man, did this ever feel good to have this done. Now while I spent hours scrubbing my oven, my kids, I think they had good intentions of trying to organize the puzzles and the games here, but it just ended up a big mess. So I thought, what a perfect opportunity to go through this chest and this closet, declutter and organize all the games and make inventory of what we have. Also, the toy room. The toy room gets cleaned on a daily basis, but you know, things get disorganized, especially toys with small pieces. All of the loose parts kind of end up scattered around and mixed up with other loose parts, and you know, it's good to go through it every once in a while and take inventory of what's all there, making sure all of the loose parts are in their proper spots, and then while I'm at it, I go ahead and give it a bit of a deeper clean as well. This is something that I try and do like once a month or so. And if I'm feeling extra motivated, I'll also go through and rotate a few toys. I find that even just setting up the nugget in a different way than I did before makes that toy so much more interesting. It's almost like a brand new toy, and they'll play with it for hours and hours. So I'll just go through and I'll reorganize things. I'll make sure everything is where it belongs, bring out a couple new toys, put away a few of the other toys. Then I also went ahead and switched up some of the stuff on the walls in preparation for the next school season. After this, it was mostly just a matter of cleaning. We do have a cleaning schedule, like a weekly cleaning schedule, and I can leave a link to the video where I shared that cleaning schedule. I filmed it like a year ago or something already. It's been really good for our family. Basically, we do a little bit of cleanup every day instead of leaving it all for one day. And this has made the biggest difference in maintaining our home. But what I was doing this particular week was every time I would go to clean a space, I would go the extra mile and deep clean that space more than I usually would. So for example, for the bathroom, I would normally just kind of go through and clean like the most used, dirtiest surfaces. But to like wipe down all the nooks and crannies of the tub, or to take down the shower curtain and put that through the wash, it's not something I normally do. I just went through and I deep cleaned more than I usually would. And so it didn't take an awful lot of time, and it didn't leave me utterly exhausted, but I managed to get my house really quite clean that week just because I did go the extra mile each day. Also, pro tip, when you are cleaning out your garbage cans, stuff a few extra garbage bags in the bottom of your garbage cans. That way, the next time you go to change the garbage, your bags are already there and ready to use. Now, when I say I use Branch Basics for everything, I'm not kidding. So I'll use the bathroom cleaner mix to clean the bathroom, and then I'll just use a straight up concentrate as like a toilet bowl cleaner. How it works is it's just one concentrate, and then there are several different bottles. There's a bathroom cleaner, there's an all-purpose cleaner, there's a laundry detergent, and then a glass cleaner. It even comes with this foaming hand soap. Like even our soap is made of this concentrate. And so each bottle has a different ratio of water to concentrate. You just fill up the bottles according to the level that it says on the bottle, and you're done. And you have a whole bunch of different cleaners from one concentrate. It's such an awesome system, and it works so well. Not only did I clean all the surfaces of this bathroom, I even went into the cabinet underneath and organized everything under there. Honestly, I threw away so much stuff. There was so much junk in here, and I got rid of so much stuff, and it felt so good. This is also where I keep all my cleaning supplies, in that bin on the right. And you can see it's very minimal, very easy to keep track of. And that's the end of the video. I hope this gave you some motivation to clean your home, to maintain your home, and to maybe organize some spaces that you've been wanting to organize for a while. Like I said, this is the very last video where you are going to see me with a big belly because the next video is going to be the birth vlog and I cannot wait to share it with you. So stay tuned, make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.